Something is wrong. Every year, over 1.2 million students drop out of high school in the US. That's a student who gives up every 26 seconds. Nobody should want to drop out of high school. We go to school to get ready for the real world that is rapidly evolving, but school hasn't changed much for hundreds of years. Intellectual leaders agree that the current system was designed to educate students in the industrial age to produce factory workers. The mentality of brainless production and following orders still greatly exists in schools to this day. The school system has values in par with the industrial age. Students' lives are governed by bells, and for a whole 7 hours every day, students follow instruction. If we do exactly what we were told and nothing more, we are praised. These are the characteristics of a factory worker. Today, how far can you get by following these instructions? In this day, hard workers have the characteristics of creativity, ease of sharing one's thoughts, and being ingenuitive and thinking outside of the box. We are not given a chance to develop these skills in our schools. The school system limits control by students. The school system does not help students learn time management. We are dragged around by our schedule, and if we don't arrive before the bell, we are punished. Our schedules are constantly dictated by the system. Today, if you are a hard worker, managing your time and making decisions about your schedule is key. Experts believe that autonomy is vital for children. It's no surprise that we lack motivation to go to school and put in effort. Hollow learning. Most curriculum taught is hollow because it relies on memorization. Schools teach a defined set of knowledge and test us to measure the retention of what we are taught. This learning is hollow because the day after the test, most of what we just learned is gone. We are taught to just color within the lines. Imagine an employer interviews 3 people. He asks the candidates how tall the building that they are in is. The first candidate has no clue, so he responds with "I don't know," even though he took an architecture class in high school. Once the second candidate is asked, he says it's 135 feet tall. He is right. He studied architecture in high school, just like the first candidate, but he memorized the heights of all the buildings in the city. The third candidate, upon being asked the question, runs outside and measures the length of the building shadow and the angle of the sun in relation to the horizon. He runs back and says 130 feet. He's not as precise as the second guy, but he knew how to get the answer. If you were the employer, which candidate would you choose? I know I'd choose the last one. In the modern day, we are taught to be the guy memorizing, the second candidate. One of two things can happen when we are pressured to memorize the answers for curriculum. We either retain the information like the second candidate, or we forget like the first candidate. Our system of education, which evolved during the industrial age, has become outdated and ineffective. If we want our students to be engaged and successful, we need to change the fundamentals of our education system.